Hi friends, my name is Madison. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, if you're not new here, thanks for watching my videos and still being around. I took quite a long hiatus for honestly about a year from YouTube, and then I was planning my wedding and just a lot in life was going on. I posted a new one last week, so I'm back hopefully with videos weekly. We'll see if that actually happens, but I'm trying my best here. I'm going out of town this weekend, so I'm trying to get this video filmed before we head out of town. We have some errands to run tonight, so I'm just going to try to kill two birds with one stone and do a get ready with me while also telling you about my most recent reads. So I have already moisturized my face. I use, and I'll try to show the products that I use at the same time, but I just use this. It's the Origins A Perfect World SPF Age Defense Moisturizer with White Tea Broad Spectrum SPF 40. I really just use this because it has sunscreen in it, and I just like to use any time during the day. I use this one at night. I think I use a First Aid Beauty one. Don't quote me on that. I have to find it. But I keep that in my bathroom because I get ready here at my vanity during the day. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to be using this e.l.f. Halo Glow just to give myself, I feel like I'm already a little glowy, but like we can never be too glowy, right? Okay, so the first thing that I read this year, I got married December 28th and then went on my honeymoon immediately after that. When I'm on vacation, if I'm around a beach or a pool or on a plane, like I'm reading. Like that is peak relaxation to me. So I had some friends recommend the book Strange Sally Diamond. So that was my very first read of the year. I liked it. I gave it it's by Liz Nugent. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. I gave it a 3. It was, I wouldn't say it's like one of the best books that I've ever read, but it was like very thought-provoking and just kind of made you think about the whole situation. Like I started it out being like, okay, is this a thriller? Like what's going on here? And it wasn't necessarily a thriller, but there is kind of like a whodunit. You're trying to figure out this whole story of this girl Sally and like her background and why she is the way she is. And I feel like it was just a very thought-provoking book. I wouldn't say I loved it. I didn't hate it, but I thought it was good. For me, like I do all my rating on Goodreads, so if you're on Goodreads, follow me on there. I think my name is still under like Madison Level. I don't think I changed that to my married name. I thought it was good. I mean, I gave it a 3. I would recommend it to someone if they were like, hey, I'm looking for a book to read and I don't want like specifically like romance or like a romance book, but they like enjoy thriller, but it doesn't have to be a thriller. I mean, I don't know, I feel like I don't even really know what like category that like falls under. I don't know. I don't know what foundation I want to use today. Y'all, I have like a whole drawer of foundations. Like I reach for different ones all the time. Since it's already the afternoon though, and I'm not going to be wearing it all day, it doesn't necessarily have to be like super long lasting. I think I'm just going to use this Maybelline Fit Me, and it's in color 118 Light Beige. I don't even know if it's like the right color for me. Who knows? That was the first book I read of the year, and then I kind of wanted to like completely switch it up, and I ended up reading Ina Garten's book, Be Ready When the Luck Happens. And if you see me look over, I have like post-it notes on my mirror so that way I could keep up with telling you about every book and kind of what I rated it as. I will say I wish I would have listened to this one on audiobook instead of reading it, because she's someone who I really enjoy her voice. Like I just think she's very soothing. She's a great storyteller. I mean, even when on her show, you know, when it's like, you don't have goat milk, like regular milk's fine. Like she just has kind of that, like, has that about her. And so I kind of wish that I would have listened to that one instead of reading it. But I gave that one 5 stars because I feel like with memoirs, it can just go one way or the other. Like there's very few memoirs that I would say that's a really good memoir, you should read it. The ones that I think I've given 5 stars to would be Ina's memoir, Kelly Bishop's memoir from Gilmore Girls, the 3rd Gilmore Girl. It's incredible. You need to listen to her read it. Love hearing her story. She's just had such an interesting life. The other one I would say would be Jessica Simpson's. That's like the 3 that I've loved. Other than that, I honestly haven't like ever really loved a memoir. But I will say this one was just very high up there for me. I just think it was so interesting how she has built how she's built, and I especially now as someone who's like wanting to start my own business and kind of have things going for myself in that realm of things, it was just so kind of inspiring to like listen to her story and hear how she truly grinded to like get where she was. I found that very interesting, and she had a very supportive husband, so I think that plays a lot into it, which I feel like I also too have a very supportive husband. For my contour, I'm gonna use my Rare Beauty stick, and I use the color Happy Soul. So that was the second book I read. The third one that I read, and I'm once again looking at my notes, was Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. And Abby Jimenez, if you ever see this, I love you. First of all. Second of all, I did not realize that that was a 3-part book series. And your girl read the second book last summer, had no idea it was a part of a series, just read it. And then I read the third book just for the summer, and I was like, wait. These characters sound oddly familiar. And then I put 2 and 2 together that it's a series of books. And so read the second one last summer and then read the third one just for the summer on my honeymoon. That one I gave a 4. Really enjoyed it. I really liked Just for the Summer. I don't know. I mean, at first I was kind of annoyed with the guy, the main character in it. And I'm trying my best not to spoil anything if you haven't read these books. So I kind of got annoyed with the main character in it, but I don't know, just like the more I read it, like the more endearing he became. And I always like loved the female lead character. I thought she was great. So I don't know, it just kind of became more endearing as like he became more endearing as time went on. And I was just like really rooting for their relationship, and I liked all the other like secondary characters in the book. And then I realized part of a series. So then I went on after that. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to read the first book so that way I like have the whole story. So I read that one later on. So I'm trying to go in order of like what I read and tell you about them in order. So I read the third book of the Part of Your World series. Great, highly recommend. I love Abby Jimenez. I like that the chapters are short, that I feel like you can like knock those books out really quickly. And I don't know, I just like her characters. I know that some people can say they can be kind of flat or kind of predictable, but if you're just looking for like a fun little romance book, like a quick read, I think that they're great reads. Okay, I'm being a psycho and I don't feel like that's enough like bronzer, so I'm gonna pull out this like Makeup Forever palette thing and put some of the whatever contour bronzer, whatever this is. The next book that I read, you guys, I am a Frida McFadden stan, okay? Like I'm in like a Facebook group for people that read a lot of Frida McFadden, okay? Like I feel like I support her. She's the reason that I have Kindle Unlimited, because all of her books are on there. Her early books, like I loved, like Never Lie is truly like one of, like if someone says I like thrillers, I want to get into reading, I'm like, read Never Lie. That book is so good. Her last few books, Frida, I love you, but like they have fallen so flat for me. Brain Damage isn't even a new book. It was just one that was on Kindle Unlimited, and I finished a book one night, needed to start a new one. I was reading it and like Mike was reading his Kindle beside me, and I was like, I hate this. I hate what I'm reading. Like this book is so stupid, but I just want to finish it because they're not long. They're pretty easy to read. I don't like this book. Not one bit. I don't like it. And so I finished it. It was so predictable. There wasn't even like a good like plot twist in it. That is one of the worst books that I've read in a really long time. And Frida, please listen to me when I say I love you, but like terrible. I'm also gonna use this for my blush, I think, as well. I finished that one and I was like, I need a good book after this. I need a good book. I need to read something good. Because this actually made me mad reading this. Like I can't. So I went on from there to do the first book of the Part of Your World series, but I read it last. Like I read the first book last by Abby Jimenez, and that one is just called Part of Your World. I really enjoyed that one. I wish that I would have read the books in order, because I just think that like I would have ended up loving Just for the Summer even more had I understood the characters that were coming from books 1 and like from the first book, because I'd read book 2 already. But I just thought I loved it. I loved it. I have not read, I think that these are the only Abby Jimenez books that I have read. Maybe like one other one a while ago, like a year ago, but I think that that's it. And I really loved it. Like I said, I think that, I don't know, I think it looks like I gave Just for the Summer and Part of Your World both 4s on Goodreads. I would have to go back and look and see. I read the second book a year ago, so I would have to go back and look and see what I rated it. I really enjoyed it. I just wish I would have read it in order. So if you haven't read them and you would like to read them, highly recommend just starting in order. Okay, for concealer, I'm going in with this Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. I know this is like an oldie but a goodie. I used to use this in high school and it's still tried and true. I also just like that I feel like you don't put too much on with this, and I appreciate that. Okay, the next book that I read, I went back to another Frida after this one, after the Abby Jimenez one, and that one was The X, and that's one of her newer ones, I think. Like I said, I can't remember because I'm also just like, I have Kindle Unlimited, so I'm going back and just like, if I haven't read something of an author that I like, I'm just reading it. I read The X and I liked it. It was fine. I still felt like it was pretty predictable in comparison to some of her other books. I mean, it was fine. Wasn't my favorite one ever, but it wasn't as bad as Brain Damage. I gave it a 3. I don't really have much else to say about it without giving away the plot. It was good. Her books are, again, just easy to read if you've never read Frida, if you enjoy thriller type books. Most of the time her books keep you on the edge of your seat, but the last few that I've read have just been like downers. So didn't love that one. It was fine. If you need like a quick book to hop through to kind of get you back into reading, Frida books are great to do that, but start with her older stuff, personal opinion. The Housemaid series is my favorite, as well as Never Lie. So I gave The X a 3. It was just fine. Don't really have much else to say. Okay, next I'm going in with this Huda, I think it's Huda Beauty powder, and I use Pound Cake. It took me a long time to pull the trigger on this powder because it's expensive, and now that I've done it, I'm like, unfortunately, I will not be able to use anything else. But if you're looking for a good drugstore powder that's affordable, that I swear works really well, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus translucent is great. I think it's like $3. So this is my drugstore favorite powder. And then if you're going to get a little bit more expensive and use something a little nicer, I think this Huda Beauty one is worth it, personally. Next on my list is The Boyfriend by Frida. So that is a new one. I know for a fact that's a new one that just came out. I liked it. Again, it was, I feel bad. Like, I love Frida, I love you. But like, they've just been kind of missing for me lately. It wasn't bad, it wasn't good, it was just kind of, it was fine. My mom and I both read those, so like her and I talk about it. She really liked that one. It was fine. I don't know, it was okay. I read them pretty, I can feel like I can read her books in like a day or two, or if like I'm just reading on the weekend, I can knock it out. So it was fine. I mean, I don't regret reading it. Like, I regret wasting my time on Brain Damage, but it was just fine. I gave it a 3 on Goodreads. People always ask me, like, how do you get your makeup to last all the time? First of all, setting spray, specifically this one. It will make your makeup last forever. This is the One Size On Till Dawn. This is what I used on my wedding day. Nothing moved, it was great. But another thing is to set your liquid products with powder. And I know that some people may not like doing that, but for me, that's like literally how I get my makeup, I feel like, to look the way it does. So I do the liquid bronzer, contour, blush, concealer, then I do my face powder. Now I go back in with a light layer of bronzer and blush as well. So I'm gonna use the NARS blush, and this is Laguna. Okay, so after The Boyfriend, or maybe this was entwined with The Boyfriend, I remembered that you can listen to audiobooks on Spotify, which I do have a bone to pick with Spotify. Why is there only 15 hours of listening time a month for a premium member? Like, can someone explain that? Like, I feel like if you're paying for the premium membership, like, why are books, do you only get 15 hours, but with music you can stream unlimited? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. I personally would pay a little bit more per month to have unlimited audiobooks and music than to have my unlimited audiobooks on like my Audible subscription and then also have music on Spotify. Like, I would rather just have everything together. That's just my personal bone to pick, and I know that everyone else has a bone to pick about it too, because I recently posted about it on Instagram, and I'm not kidding, like 30 people responded to that story and it had like 2,000 views. And my stories don't ever get that much attention, so I know that other people have feelings about it. So Spotify, anyone from Spotify, I'm a nobody, but if you hear this, can you explain to me why it's only 15 hours? And is there a way we can get more? Like, can there be like a next tier up subscription with unlimited audiobooks? Like, my county library isn't on Libby. Like, please help me. So I forgot that they had audiobooks on there. So I had a girl that I follow. She also does YouTube videos, but her name's Lily. All Things Lily, and I like love to follow her. I think she's so just cute and fun, and like, I feel like we would be friends in real life. She posted about reading The 7-Year Slip and how good it was, and I feel like a lot of the books that she posts about are books that I have liked as well. So I was like, I'm gonna listen to it, and so that way I can like be reading a book at night on my Kindle and then also be listening to a book, because a lot of the work that I do at my job, I can like listen to a podcast or I watch YouTube video. Like, I have a YouTube video up kind of in the background. This is the Makeup Forever blush. Couldn't tell you what color this is. I've had this since college because it's so pigmented that you can only use a little bit at a time. So I started listening to The 7-Year Slip, and I'm not gonna lie, at first I kind of did not like it because of the narrator and how she was doing the voices. just wasn't loving, like the guy's voice was like, yeah, lemon, and I just wasn't loving that, okay? But the further that we got in the book and the more I kind of like became in, like I just found all these characters so endearing, I didn't mind the voices as much. But I think my freaking light died again. This happened to me the other day when I was doing a TikTok. I think that the more I listened to it, the better it got, but I do think if I would have read the book instead of listening to it, it may have been a 5-star for me, but unfortunately because of it being on audiobook, I gave it 4 stars. Okay, she's back with not as great lighting, but she's back. Whatever. Where was I? The 7-year slip. So yeah, it was good. Like I said, if I would have read it, I think it would have been a 5-star read for me. But unfortunately, because I listened to it, it was not it. So from there, I was like, what do I want to do from here? I was like, because I've had not so great experiences with my girl Frida the last few times. I'm like, I kind of want to read something else. Like I don't know, I was not feeling going back to a thriller. I couldn't decide, so I just got on Kindle Unlimited and was like, what should I read next? I'm a big Maybelline girl. I'm realizing from everything I've told you about, I feel like is Maybelline. But this is their eyebrow pencil in, what color is this? I don't think it has it on here. I think it's soft brown. If I had to guess, that's what it would be. So from there, I was on Kindle Unlimited. I was like, okay, I need to switch this up. Like I can't read Frida again, and I just need something different. So I saw that Ellen Hildebrandt's books were on Kindle Unlimited, and I was like, ooh, I loved Golden Girl so much. And I read The Perfect Couple in the fall before I watched the show, and book was way better than the show, by the way. Even though I thought the show was good, I still really enjoyed the book better. But I saw that her books were on there, and I was like, okay, let me like give her a try again. Like, let me just pick one. So I read Nantucket Nights, and I gave it 2 stars. It was fine. It wasn't anything like Golden Girl by her is like such a good book. Like if you have not read that book, you need to go, like that needs to be your next read. I think that was probably 4 or 5 stars for me. I can't remember, I'd have to go look, but I read that like, I think that was one of my very first books that I read when I got a Kindle. So like that was so long ago because I've had a Kindle now for 3 years. I really, really enjoyed that book. It was so good, I couldn't put it down. The one complaint I have about Miss Ellen Hildebrandt is like how her chapters are set up. Like I think I'm reading, I'm reading the 3rd book in a series right now, which I will talk about in a second. But I don't love the way that her chapters are set up. Like they're by character, and so when I'm reading on my Kindle, I like to have a little thing down here on the bottom that says like 10 minutes left in the chapter. But because sometimes the chapters will have perspectives from multiple people, it'll say like 1 hour and 20 minutes left in this chapter, and I'm like, ugh, that's just like, me personally, and maybe that's just like my own, I don't want to say OCD because that's like a real thing, but like my own preference is like, just like when I'm going to bed at night, I want to like end it on a chapter before I move on to the next. Sometimes that's hard to do with her books because of how she writes them. So yeah, Nantucket Nights was fine. It was like a fine storyline. The characters were kind of annoying. Like, I don't know, the whole thing just kind of like annoyed me. Like it was just, I don't know, it was fine. Like I said, wasn't my favorite, wasn't terrible, but wasn't great. I gave it 2 stars. So take from that what you will. So after Nantucket Nights, I once again was like, I kind of want to switch it up. I was like scrolling through Goodreads and was like, what are the girlies reading? Like, what are my friends reading? Because I do have a lot of friends that I'm friends with on Goodreads. I'm just going to go in with the Natasha Denona palette and just do like really simple eyeshadow, nothing crazy. What are the girlies reading? And so one of my friends had either recently read or was wanting to read next Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth. And I was like, that sounds good. Like listening to the plot, I was like, that actually sounds really interesting. So I read that one next, and what did I give it? I also gave it a 2. I didn't really like it. For it to have been like, I think I went into it with the wrong intent. Like I really thought it was gonna be a thriller. It's not really. Like it's more of kind of like a whodunit, like exploring these people's, like these girls' past. It's about these 3 girls that were in the foster system and kind of their story, and they all ended up at the same house. And I don't know, it just like, I finished it, but I didn't really like it. And so to that, I gave it a 2 on Goodreads. I don't know that I would say I would recommend it because I just feel like there are so many other books you could pick up besides that one. But if you're someone who likes to read all the time and you just want to read it to say you read it, like you can. I think it's on Kindle Unlimited as well. So like, I think that like a lot of the moral of this story is that I read a lot of books simply because I pay for Kindle Unlimited. And I just found out earlier this week when I went to get a library card that my library system, county system, is not on Libby. So I'm gonna have to use my mom's or something because that ain't gonna work for me. I just refuse to buy books from Amazon when I already pay for Kindle Unlimited. Like, that's not gonna happen here. Finished Darling Girls, like I said, it was fine, 2 stars. The next book that I read after that was, I went to get my hair done, and Ashley, who does my hair, I was telling her about the Abby Jimenez series and how I really enjoyed it. And I had been telling her she also loves to read, is like a die-hard, like hardcover book girl. And I think it was before Christmas when I got my hair done, I was like, Ashley, like, I'm telling you, you need a Kindle. You need a Kindle because she travels all the time. And it's just, you can get any book on this little thing and it just slips right into your purse. I take this everywhere with me. Like, my Kindle goes everywhere with me. If this video influences you to do anything, it's to buy a Kindle. Also, look how cute this case is. I'll put the link in this description box below from the girl that I bought it from. It was a Tik Tok shop, but like, so cute. She is a die-hard hardcover book girl, as was my mom, but we got my mom a Kindle for Christmas a few years ago and it's all she uses. And so Ashley ended up getting one for Christmas. I saw that she was like, had just taken a trip and was reading on the plane. And so we ended up starting talking about books. I tell her all about the Abby Jimenez series and everything I've been reading lately. And she was like, do you like Ellen Hildebrandt? And I was like, yes, I do. I actually just read one of her books. Wasn't my favorite, but like, I do really like her. She's like, well, you need to read the Winter in Paradise series. And I was like, oh, okay. I like have never heard of this before. So I go to look up the plot and everything, and I was like, this actually sounds really good. And I read the very first one, which is called Just Winter in Paradise. Nothing that crazy. I gave it a 3. It maybe could have been a 4. I don't know. I don't know. I want to say 3.5, but you can't do half star ratings on Goodreads. So here between us girls, I'll say it was a 3.5. I really liked it so much. So, I mean, I read it so quickly and then immediately was like, I need book 2. Like, got on my Kindle Unlimited, immediately got the book 2. I read book 2. I finished it last night in the bathtub actually, but I started it over the weekend, I think. So I read it and yesterday was Tuesday, like 4 days. I mean, I zoomed through that thing. So I'm like, what happens next? Like, she leaves the end of book 1 and book 2 with your like, what? Wait, like, I have to keep reading to know what happens. So then you want to read the next book. So 3.5 to book 1. And then I also would say, I don't know, I would say book 2 for me was like a solid 3. I read it really quickly, but I think that book 1 was just better because of like, you're learning more about the characters and the setting. So good. Like, it got me back to being like, okay, Ellen, like, this is why I love you, because this is so swirly. Like, I love this. It's so good. It's also set in St. John, so I feel like now that it's like so gross and gloomy outside, like, it gave me something to like think about and aspire to. It's not nasty outside here now, but it has been. All in the middle of all of this, I also have been listening to The Wedding People, and I have not been able to finish it because I ran out of hours on Spotify Premium. So with the next video, once I've like built up, like I've read another 10 books or something, I'll probably do another one of these videos. And also my chair keeps making weird noises, so I promise that that's what that is. I'm really enjoying it so far, and I want to know what happens next. I'm just out of listening hours and they don't renew until Saturday. So once I get the chance to listen to that, that'll be in the next book recap. The second one is called What Happens in Paradise, right? Yes. What Happens in Paradise is book 2 in the Winter in Paradise series. And I really liked that one. I read the first Winter in Paradise series. I can't catch my train of thought. I read the first one, and then I read The Crash by Frida McFadden because it was one of her new ones that had come out. So, not gonna lie, I hated it. Like, I hated that book. I don't know if I just have something against Frida, or like her and I just aren't on good terms. Like, I don't know. I didn't like it. I thought it was so predictable. The middle was so boring. I just felt like I was reading the same chapters over and over and over. And then in the end, like the plot just like wasn't a great twist. And I almost wonder if she like, because she has a contract with Kindle Unlimited and she's like probably having to pump out books, that like, I just feel like the quality of her last few books aren't as great. And I'm like, maybe if you had more time to like come up with a great twist, it would be different, but it's not. So that, I gave a 2, I think, to The Crush. No, I gave it a 1. Dang, that's rough. I gave it a 1, just like Brain Damage. So there you go. So that is my feelings on that. And then I went back and read the second book in the Winter in Paradise series. So What Happens in Paradise is book 2, and then Trouble in Paradise is book 3. So I finished book 2 last night. I gave that one 3 stars as well. And then I gave the first one 3.5, just between you and I, because Goodwill. Goodreads, you can't do half ratings. And then I've just started the third book. So that is, I honestly should have waited to film this till I finish that one, but I may finish that book on like our drive down this weekend. I don't know, we'll see. Those are all the books that I have read recently. I will say I've always loved to read. When I was younger, like my mom, that's probably all that I'm gonna do. My mom used to take us like we were big public library kids when I was little. I'm gonna use this Rare Beauty, it's a highlighter in Mesmerized. I use it as an eyeshadow. I literally had my makeup artist use this on my wedding day on my eyes because I love it. But we grew up as like public library kids, like especially in the summer. My mom didn't work when we were younger and she always had us at the public library, and we did like the summer reading challenges. Please comment below if you did that. Like I brought that up to my husband the other day because we both got library cards, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I spent so much time at the library as a kid. Like we came every week and did like the story time and did like the reading challenges, and he was like, I never did that. Like never. And I was like, oh. Okay, so like, I didn't know if that was just like, because my mom always has liked to read, is that why? Or is that like a normal experience? Like, do a lot of people go to the public library a lot as a child? I don't know. So comment below if you ever did the reading challenges when you were younger, because now I'm just curious if other people did it, or if it was just a me thing, just a Lovell family thing. I don't know where my eyeliner is. I'm going to use the Makeup by Mario eyeliner, but I've always loved to read, and it's just, I felt like when I was in college, I went through a phase of like only reading self-help books or like Christian like books about whatever, and like those books are great, but like I think I burnt myself out on reading because I was only reading self-help. Like if you're someone who maybe that's happened to you as well, like I would love to chat with you, but I think I really did like burn myself out on reading because all the time I was reading self-help and it just became too much. Now that I have started to get more into like fiction and romance and thrillers, like I love it so much more. The one thing I haven't gotten into is fantasy. One of my very best friends, Madison, she like loves fantasy and loves, like we always kind of joke with her about like her fairy books and everything. I really would like to get into it. I just haven't. So I have Fourth Wing downloaded, but I don't know. I just haven't. I'm not emotionally there yet to do that. I'm gonna spray my face with this One Size spray. Pro tip, if you are gonna use setting spray like that, any setting spray, I always spray my face first before I use mascara. Otherwise my mascara like goes everywhere. So just to, even when it dries, like I don't know what it is, but this is the Thrive Cosmetics liquid lash extensions, and it's like the best mascara ever. So anyways, I want to get into like fantasy. I'm just not there yet. Like I haven't fully committed to reading Fourth Wing and all of the Fourth Wing things. Like I see it everywhere and I hear everyone say how great it is. I just am not there yet. So also just didn't get to read a lot last year because of planning my wedding. Like I feel like I don't know, it was really hard to focus on reading. I read a few books. I may be able to pull up my Goodreads and tell you what I read last year. I set my Goodreads reading goal at like 15 last year, and I maybe read like 6 books, and I was like, oh, okay. So this year I set the goal again at 15, and I believe I'm already at like 11 or 12. So we're already just a much better pace in 2025. We're just running errands tonight, and I want to go to Joann. You guys, Joann's is closing. Like, I'm such a crafty girl. This makes me so sad because Hobby Lobby is just not it. And Michael's is also not it. Hobby Lobby's even more not it. And like, I don't know, I'm so sad. Like, Joann's was my craft store of preference. Anyways, back to reading, which is what this was all about in the first place. My hair is so dirty, but like, I needed to wait to wash it because if I wait, then I won't have to wash it again. Like when we go down for the wedding. I mean, it's not the best, but it'll do. Last year, I just didn't get to read that many books. Let me pull up my Goodreads. Okay, so last year, it looks like I read The Perfect Couple. I listened to Counting the Cost by Jill Duggar. I gave that one a 3. It was okay. It was good. It was really interesting just because I grew up watching that show, so it was just interesting to hear like what happened to her and her perspective. I read The Third Gilmore Girl. Loved that one. That was a 5-star read. She also reads that one to you, so even better reason to do it. I read Bye Baby by Carola Levering, and I gave that one 4 stars last year. Really, really enjoyed that book a lot. The Housemaid is Watching, which was the 3rd one in the Housemaid series by Frida last year in October, it looks like. I gave that one 3 stars. That was not my favorite. The first book is the best, but the series itself is still good. Then didn't read, so I read that book in October, and then my previous book before that was The Yours Truly, which was number 2 in the Part of Your World series, and I read that in July, and I gave that one 4 stars. So yeah, I didn't read a lot last year. It looks like one of the other ones I read was None of This Is True by Lisa Joel, which I did give that 5 stars. That book was incredible. And then I read The Locked Door by Frida McFadden and gave it 4 stars. So that must have been a much better Frida read. But yeah, last year, so that means I read 1, 2, 3, I read 10 books last year, which is sad. And it's now February 26th, and I've read, let's see where I'm at on my Goodreads goal. I read 12 of 15 books in my Goodreads goal so far. And it's February 26th. So we're just doing much better this year than we were last year, okay? We're just doing much better. I would love to hear what you're currently reading, would love to hear what you are wanting to read or books that you're excited about. I have been getting more into like, I don't know, I have like a love-hate relationship with TikTok. Like, I do love scrolling on there, but like sometimes with like the book talk people, bookish girlies, like sometimes the ones that are on TikTok, like it's just a lot. I do have one Instagram friend named Cassie. Kindly Cassie is her handle, I believe. And she posts a lot of good stuff and I love her content. So she's kind of really one of the only bookish people that I follow on Instagram, and she does TikTok as well. Other than that, I don't follow a lot of like bookish people. But here on YouTube, one of my new favorite creators is Carter Sullivan, and she's new to me. She's been around on YouTube for a long time, but I can't even remember how I found her. Maybe it was from just like, I love when I'm working having on like a cozy vlog, or like, I don't know, like she does a lot of like cozy hobbies, and I think she popped up as like a suggestion for me because I also love Michelle Reed, who is a YouTuber that also has a lot of very similar vibes, and I think Carter may have popped up as a suggestion from that. And so I've been loving her YouTube videos, and she does a lot of these type of videos where she talks about what she's reading and how she's rating things, and I feel like she reads all genres, like everything across the board. So it's just always really interesting to hear her takes on stuff. So that, I've been following her. Also, Abby Aslin, she also has been talking a lot about books lately on YouTube, and she's like a lifestyle YouTuber who I watch often. So I kind of keep up with her for things like that. And then she turned me on to, I think it's Lottie Smiley or Lottie Smiley, I can't remember. She is like a book creator, so she reads all the time and then makes books about it. So I also really enjoy following her, because it's just, there are sometimes when I feel like we get stuck in a rut of seeing the same books that are just like popular at the moment on TikTok or Instagram that like everyone's reading. Like me personally, that's how I feel about Colleen Hoover. I don't like her books, and I enjoyed her books until I read Verity, and then I think that took a sick person to write that, and I just can't get into her anymore. That's kind of how I feel about that. Like, I think that she's a trendy author, and she kind of has like become popular because like a lot of her stuff is being turned into movies and whatnot, and I don't like think that, I think there are much better books out there. So anything you can find like this content wise where you can figure out, you know, find other suggestions, read things that other people say are really great. And then I think it kind of helps you kind of like find your niche of like what you enjoy reading, and it makes reading more enjoyable. And I also will say I truly believe like having a Kindle has made me love reading more. I get loving hard copy books. And now that I have a library card where we live, I may get back into getting some hardcover books if like I can't get it on Kindle Unlimited and they have it at the library, because I love the smell of a book, like holding a book. I think like there's so many fun girlies out there now that like also will like do like cute bookmarks and stuff. I don't know. I think it's just because I mostly read at night before I go to bed, or like right when I wake up in the morning. I try to read before I scroll, and I just find my Kindle to be way better for that. So if anything, if this video influences you to read or to look into getting a Kindle, sometimes you can find them on like Facebook Marketplace and stuff. I've literally also seen a Kindle at the thrift store, so you never know. Also, when Amazon Prime Day comes, or like Target does their deal days or whatever, you can usually find a deal on them. So all that to be said, thanks for getting ready with me. I'm sorry my light died and we had to end this video with terrible lighting. It's just, I feel like I'm cursed. This happened in a TikTok the other day. But thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. Please comment below, tell me what books that you're loving right now, and I'll see you